doesn't often happen, rarely in Calcutta, right? When you have two living legends joining you for an interview. Tony Roche, one of the greatest ever. Jaideep Mukherjea, one of the greatest ever. Tony, how is Kolkata treating you this time? I've heard your sledges to Jaideep, but good to have you back
Yes, yeah.
for the sake of Indian tennis.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's always nice to come back to India. I've always had a soft spot for India because, I like the history of tennis, and what you guys did in the 50s and 60s was something very special. And, one of the reasons I'm back here is to try and get India back to where they should be. So
You think that's possible?
yeah, of course it's possible. With your numbers, your population, and I'm sure the talent's out there. It's just got to be found and have a program to develop these players.
Jaideep, just what he said, the revival, that's your program. Tony's kind of obviously the face of it. You are the face of it. Do you reckon over a period of time with the support it's possible? Because Sharmeen and you have been putting in a hell of a lot of effort. I am party to that.
Yes, it's possible, as Tony said earlier just now, that you have to get a place and you have to get a team together, talent hunting, and get the best players together in an academy or 2, 3 academies. And the reason I wanted Tony with his experience around the world, in the highest level and also in the lowest level, with the low grassroots level, is amazing. And I wanted to rope him in as a visiting coach or visiting mentor for what we do here in future. And I'm sure in a couple of years' time, we have had to produce some players. Our aim is not to produce a top 100 player. Aim is to look at little higher up and get a top 10 player. And then the tennis boom will start again.
Okay. Is that a realistic thing? Top 10 we've not seen in ages.
Yeah, but why not? I mean, you got a dream, and obviously, there's talented kids out there, but you've got to have a program where you can develop. First of all, find them, give them the opportunity, and then develop them and have good programs. So it's a little bit like when John Newcombe and myself took over the Davis Cup back in the 1990s. We had 3 goals. One was to win the Davis Cup. 2 was to produce a number 1 in the world, and 3 was for one of our players to win a Grand Slam, and we achieved that. It took a long time, but eventually we got there and achieved those 3 goals. So I think you got to dream big, and you got to believe, and you got to have a good system.
Fantastic. So that's he's just given me the 1, 2, 3. Have you set yourself a timeline? This is chapter 2. You've already done chapter 1. How is it going? That's my final question.
It's going fine, and now we're set for chapter 3. And I think by chapter 4 or 5, we should have something going for sure.
Okay. And give me one quick Tony story that we don't know.
I know a lot of stories about him, but I'll tell you a story which he told me, which is when we won the French. He was injured, as he said yesterday. I don't know, heard about this, but in the finals he played a guy called Gulias, and they were supposed to play on a Saturday, and the ladies were on Sunday. So they changed because he was injured. One of the managers they had spoke to the authorities, and the player Gulias agreed to change just one day later so that he could be fit enough to play.
Sportsman spirit.
Yeah, this wouldn't have happened nowadays in any sport.
Sportsman spirit, fantastic. With the kind of rackets and all, when you think back, wooden rackets, would any of these current players be as good, you reckon?
No, possibly Federer. I think he played a little bit like old school, but obviously at a much higher level. But if you put a wooden racket in Roger's hand, he would be still pretty good. But it's just the way that you're brought up. The young kids are brought up with the new technology, and
Of course.
and that develops different types of grips and strokes, and so it's nothing against them to say they wouldn't be any good. But I think Roger would still be a great player with a wooden racket.
I'll end there. I'll end there saying, 14 tournaments in 1966, the French and many other the doubles tournaments, or rather doubles titles. Jaideep Da, that 1966 will always remain a fond memory for everybody in India. To have Tony Roche back in Calcutta and India, to get this program off the ground, which is led by him and Sharmeen Mukherjea, is a good thing for Indian tennis. Hopefully, good results are right in the offing. New year, new beginning, new start, new people, new hope, new optimism. Thank you very much for watching.